170. We'll talk about what I want to talk about, JJ. Now. Hey, JJ. How's
Right
it
now?
going?
Hey.
Michael, hi.
How you doing?
Good. I am doing better every week. It's amazing how even after medications and everything else, it just does not go quickly. I don't know if it's age or virulence or whatever, but
Porque no los dos.
Yeah, it can be both, right?
yeah. Now, unrelatedly, I believe, because the symptoms are not the same, other people in my house have started coming down with colds, I believe, from school.
It's cool, and the weather's finally turning a little bit.
And the weather's changing. Yep, the mornings have been cold.
A
Which I
person,
love as a morning walker nowadays. I do a decent lap of walking in the mornings. I don't like sweating just because I'm awake.
no, that seems bad.
And a nice, cool, brisk morning walk helps the day, I've actually been, relatively speaking, off caffeine for the last 2 months as I've been trying to get a handle on this, well, what we assume is pneumonia.
Yep.
And
A little
it really
brisk
is
walk helps wake you
a
up.
thing. It is a thing, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy a workout, or not even a full workout, but just like, some light exercise in a morning. That's a nice way
When
to
it's
go.
cold, especially, in my book. In the morning, if it's hot, no thank you. All right, that's not exactly what I wanted to talk about. Oh, man. Relatedly, at nighttime these days, I've been relatively tired as the days end. Soon to be more so as we start working on this major outdoor house renovation. And I have not had, I know we're going to talk about some games in a little bit, but I've not had the energy to pick up a new game or continue much of other stuff. But I have occupied myself with a weird, I think Michael will not find this unexpected side hobby. JJ, maybe you should explain to Michael, what is Architect?
Architect is a website that one could use to build Magic the Gathering decks online.
It's like a integrated cloud-based Magic deck builder, right? Integrated into
cloud based? Like, it's just a
yeah,
website, right?
it saves all your stuff online, right? You build your deck, it's saved in the cloud, right?
But it's just a website with like accounts. It's not, you're not uploading stuff from your end to save
You
there,
could.
right?
I guess not. I guess it translates it into whatever its system is, so it's not cloud. But
yeah, but anyway, you can build all kinds of decks and then go tinker with them.
It has access to like database websites and specifically Scryfall, I think.
Scryfall is the main one, but I think notably it has, because it accesses the database, you have access to everything, right? It doesn't require you to own anything. You could just play with the entire tool set.
Okay.
So
That's nice.
while sitting around a little bit before trying to get to bed, maybe while watching a show or something, I have actually, JJ, been sitting on Architect most nights for the last couple weeks, trying to just sort of veg out a little bit and rest mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And ended up, I probably won't even ever buy all these decks, but like going into different areas of the game, so like Pauper or EDH or Pauper EDH or Standard or this or that, and just like picking weird mechanics to try and make decks out of, like the mutate mechanic. Can I make a commander deck out of the mutate mechanic that would actually be any good? Let's enjoy that for a night,
Yeah.
It's it's kind of, Michael, like if you were building decks for like Slay the Spire or something, but just never went in to slay the actual Spire.
Okay.
I
Like
found it
playing
weirdly
Dominion
therapeutic.
against yourself in some ways, right?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I found it very kind of therapeutic and calming and relaxing.
See, what you should be doing with this time is building Gundams, Andrew.
Yeah, yeah, I could do that. Maybe that's better use of time.
Because then there's no screens.
Oh, look at you.
There you
That's
go.
smart. I have a tough time with my real grade Gundam, and we'll talk about yours in a minute. Focusing on anything except the Gundam. So it would have to be a show, because I assume you're saying I could do it with like a show on or something. I don't know.
No,
Maybe
I'm just saying you can focus on the Gundam. You don't have to watch the show. That's the nice thing. You just build the Gundam. It's nice.
Did you, when you build yours, you don't have anything on like audio or video or?
Sometimes if I'm going through a part where I know it's going to be okay, I need to like cut out and trim like many pieces or whatever for this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put on a podcast and listen to it or whatever. But usually no, like I don't have a TV in that room. I try not to stimulate too much. It's sort of just like, let's focus on cutting out parts and sanding and,
I think it's similar. I think it's the anti-stimulation thing, right? Like maybe I just turn the TV off in general, whether I'm doing the Architect thing or the Gundam thing,
Yeah.
Anti-stimulation, no video game because that's too much stimulation. Just the energy level, it's not high enough. But where are you at? What are we building now? Are we done with Death Scythe?
Yeah, so Death Scythe is done. He's up on my shelf back here.
Tall Geese 2 and Death Scythe are done. Or Tall Geese 1.
Yeah, it's Tall Geese 1, or just Tall Geese, I guess. And then Death Scythe Hell are the ones that I have.
Death Scythe Hell. Not Death Scythe Hell Custom? Or is Death Scythe Hell the Death Scythe Hell Custom?
I guess it's Death Scythe Hell EW.
Yeah, all the names over the years have actually changed, right? They used to call all the EW Gundams custom, and now I don't think they use that nomenclature
So they still
anymore.
do use that term, but it means different things. So there's the Endless Waltz versions of all the Gundams, both base and upgraded.
Okay.
And then the TV versions, base and upgraded. And the upgraded of lots of them become custom. And then the Endless Waltz ones have EW tagged on also.
Those are straight show rips. Is that right?
Yeah, so if you get the TV versions of a lot of them, it'll be like Heavy Arms Custom. But Heavy Arms Custom is just the TV version of Heavy Arms. If you want the custom version of Heavy Arms from Endless Waltz, you have to get the EW one, right?
Right.
And it's not a straight one-to-one because like Shenlong doesn't follow that. It goes Shenlong and Ultron, and then those aren't like, there's no custom there, but they do use custom for like Heavy Arms and Sandrock, right?
Right. Where are you at now?
So I'm working on Wing Zero EW, Verka, I guess, which is the,
man, so
fancier. The Verka is really just them telling you like, hey, we redid the model and it uses a different frame and some different stuff. It has more transformations, which the other ones don't, like,
right,
whatever. But it's the available one of the master grade line. It's cool. It's certainly a lot more intricate build than some of these ones I've done so far. Like Tall Geese and Death Scythe Hell had a lot of pieces, but this feels like it has way more.
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot more fiddly stuff in the joints, which, is probably needed to make the transformations work.
Right. That's cool. How long? Yeah. I mean, you've ripped through these other ones.
So, I take my time though. Like I think I have a torso and arms and a head and like the shoes, but no legs. And, that's setting aside the giant wing flappy things on this one. So, we still have a ways to go.
Nice. Nice. Well, I guess Gundams has not been the only thing we've been up to. Magic decks, not the only thing we've been up to. Before we split off and talk about things you're individually doing, I like to be in the middle of conversations between the two of you sometimes when I have no idea what you're talking about. And I don't mean that facetiously, because I have read a few Sanderson novels now, thanks to you two talking about Sanderson in front of me, digitally and in person.
I'm glad we could bring you on board.
Help remind me, Andy, which ones have you read?
I've read the older Elantris one and one other that was in the same era that was a one-off that was not connected. What was it? If you say the name, I would remember, but...
You haven't read, like, Mistborn yet?
No, none of the series is...
None of the big series.
Yeah. It might have been...
Mistborn.
Yeah, I plan to. I have some nonfiction library books currently about the Lusitania and a few other things that I'm trying to finish, but they're on the list.
I think my next read is Road to Perdition, Michael.
Oh my
No,
God.
okay.
Please do it. Do it. It's so good. Road to Perdition is a great book. The movie, also very good, in my opinion.
I've seen the movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
But
how can you not? Paul Newman and Tom.
My significant other
and...
got the book or met the author at Comic-Con.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Remember the coffee giveaway that she got?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He was the headline.
Oh, that was his
panel.
coffee?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. I did not put that together.
He's the guy we sat and talked to outside of Comic-Con before we went in that day that convinced my wife to go to the panel, and then she ended up meeting him, and we sat and talked with him for like 10 minutes before the doors opened. And then she decided, I'll come to your panel, and that was the whole thing.
I remember that part of the story, and I remember it being like I went to the panel and that nice guy gave me coffee, but I'd missed the part where it was the author to Road to Perdition.
Yes, that's him.
Didn't connect that last dot.
That's very funny.
And many other crime novels, apparently. Like he's a prolific writer, not just this, but I think this might be the most popular one.
I guess we should shout him out. I guess it's probably Max Allan Collins.
That is correct.
Yes, indeed.
All right. I would not have known that name. Anyway, the Road to Perdition is a good one.
Yeah, but Michael, we're talking Sanderson now.
We are talking Sanderson, specifically the last and most recent of his surprise kickstarted novels set, which it was Isles of the Emberdark.
I guess like spoilers question mark.
It is one of the newest books he's written, so I think that's probably still fair.
Yeah, so if you really are into his stuff and you don't want to get spoiled on any of the Cosmere stuff, Michael and I are going to bandy about here for a little bit, but
okay, skip ahead, everybody, if you don't want to know. It's
okay
by me. I'm in.
Whatever the next time code Andy puts in, just jump straight to that.
Yep.
How'd you like it, Michael? It did not go the way I thought it was going to go at all.
No, it did not go the way that I thought it was going either. So I knew going into it that it was a sequel to a short story he had written called Sixth of the Dusk.
Okay.
And he does it's a great short story on its own, and he does a little bit of world building on a new world with that story, but in order to bring people on board faster, the first part of this book, and it's in 4 parts, the first part of this book bounces back and forth between the setting of that story, Sixth of the Dusk, and present day, sort of like one chapter at a time, and retells the whole short story as a flashback.
Oh.
So while he's setting up the current story, he's also retelling the flashback. So if you haven't read it, you don't have to go out and find and reread the short story just to know what's going on with the main character in this one.
And it weaves it together in a pretty cool way, where stuff is happening in the present that is like informed by and related to the stuff that happened back then, right?
Sure.
I will say it was harder to read in the beginning. I sort of struggled with like the first third of this book, I think.
Struggled how? Like bored or struggled like confused? Or I just looking for a little bit more struggle.
I usually find reading Sanderson to be very effortless, you know, like you were saying, like low, you know, intensity. Like Sanderson stuff is very easy to just kind of glide through because it's all very on the page. You know, there's not tons of deep subtext.
Yeah.
If there's an allegory, it's very on the nose, you know. But I was sort of struggling. I felt kind of like, yeah, I had never read the short story before. I didn't really have a sense of this place. I was sort of just like very confused at the setting because it's pretty different from some of the other ones, which, you know, his worlds are often very different from each other, but I felt like I kind of get a sense of the place quicker in some of his other books.
Would you have been less lost with the short story, or you said it's part of this book? Do you think it would add would it have added anything to start him known it?
I think if I had read the short story many years ago and come into this, it would have been less confusing, right?
Which is how I approached it, having read the short story several years ago.
But like, you know, didn't have like a good memory of what had happened, right? Just like had vague notions like, oh, this is a thing here.
Yes, like a working knowledge of like how the planet worked, right? How it was invested, how that revealed itself on this planet.
Right. And so, you know, trying to figure that all out, and kind of like the main character has a very like specific thing about him, I guess.
He's very terse, let's say.
And I found it annoying. Yeah, it got better as the book went on. You know, character arcs,
character growth. What a thing!
What are those?
Yeah, who knows, right? But I just, like I said, the beginning was a struggle for me, and not in that like it was very difficult to read. It wasn't, but it just took me a little while to get into this mode of reading this book and enjoying this style. And then, you know, it was fine after that. But I just had like a rough patch at the beginning.
Yeah. And then you finish part 1, and part 2 takes the second through the fourth parts of the story take a very different turn. It becomes a very different kind of story.
Yeah, so like I got to the end of part 1 and I was like, you know, I'm going to keep reading, but like, you know, I went and started doing other things. I had more stuff going on in my life. Like, you know, I was playing other games. I didn't really like, oh, I want to read this book tonight. Like that didn't get me. And when I finally did pick it back up, then it was like, oh wait, I like this way more now.
Yeah, so Andy, it turns into almost a high story, motley crew of rogues.
Sure. Like that D&D movie.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. That's a good comparison. But yeah, I think actually of the 5 kickstarted books, this one might have been my favorite. It's different from a lot of his books, I think, and I mentioned this to you the other day, JJ, in that a lot of his Cosmere books spend a lot of time with some very, very elaborate and very well thought out world building. That when you start reading one of Sanderson's books, he really wants you to have a firm sense of place. And this book kind of goes away from that. It takes place in a particular spot, in a couple of particular spots, but it's almost unmoored from any one particular place. Especially if he wants to revisit this arc as a series potentially in the future, it has the potential to be totally unmoored.
Yeah, so I think the interesting thing about it is, you know, that unmooring, right, especially by the middle and the end of the book, it's just like it's off somewhere completely else, right?
Yeah.
I think I feel like Sanderson is like stepping his toe into a like, what if we do wider, more books that span more things and connect more, less, you know, single place story arc here in this one zone kind of thing.
Yep.
Sure.
that may be just, that may be completely intentional, or it may just be the case that this fit the story they were telling. I have no idea, but it does feel like a minor edge in that direction.
Yeah, could definitely, you could see how, unlike some of the other like heavy story arc series, this could be almost like a novel of the week kind of thing. Right? What adventure are they off on this time?
Yeah, or like an easy way to bridge into other future books, right? It's like, oh, I want to tell a new story in this other new place, but we could have this motley crew go visit it in their next book, and then the next book in that place that they visited, you have some context for or whatever, right? Like,
yep, yeah. So I will say, Andy, that this book, much like I think one of the other ones that we talked about, Tress of the Emerald Sea, does work a little bit better if you have working knowledge of several of the different worlds that are part of the Cosmere, because he makes a lot of different allusions to people and places.
Are these
that
things starting to line up?
Oh, Andy, did you know all his books are connected?
I did know that, and I didn't look into it because I didn't want to ruin any of the books in terms of like how exactly they're connected, but I did know they were connected. And one of the things I've been wondering is everyone's, talking about him in this Game of Thrones style, like, and what's going to happen? These are connected. Did you know this person's names in all the books? Is this, a universe? Is it 3 universes? And when it starts to get to that hushed talking of things that are connected for a certain amount of time is when I start to get worried about things being connected and how well they actually are.
I don't know how to answer it without just telling you, so I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to touch on that topic. I think if you're just reading the books, you don't need to worry too much. Like, you will see the connections. It's clear.
Connected?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Especially reading them in order.
Yeah,
because
that's what I was gonna say.
as his books come forward in time, in terms of publication order, he starts to seed in more pieces from things that you've probably already seen from reading the earlier books.
Publication order. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so, read the arcs, kind of in the orders they were written. I wouldn't jump ahead to some future one unless you're just willing to accept that you're going to, encounter stuff you might not understand.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I wouldn't, despite Tress of the Emerald Sea or Yumi and what's the other one? Yumi,
Nightmare Painter.
That one, and
The Sunlit Man.
And The Sunlit Man all being kind of standalone stories. I wouldn't tell anyone to start with these.
No, I would definitely tell them you should be near the end if you're planning on reading a lot of his books.
Yeah, it's fine as a one-off story, but you might be kind of confused, and then, you're just not going to have the context for some of the stuff that's going on in these stories. So, all right. saying all of that, I really enjoyed this, Michael. Like, by the end of it, I was like really liking it, and it sets up some really cool and fun implications for, where the thing is going.
It really does. As you were asking, Andy, about, I can give you an idea at least of where it is. So he set this book in the near future, very near future, beyond any of the books that he's written to this point. So it takes place sort of off the edge of the map, but not very far off the edge of the map.
Kind of giving himself room to put things in there later if he wants to.
Exactly. He gave himself some room to play without being, confined into the timeline that he's building just yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it did some really fun things. It touched on some planets and some races that had only been sort of very, very lightly mentioned and then moved on from. So it was cool to get some world building done as part of giving backstory on several different characters.
Yeah, and it does give more backstory than one thing here, right? Like, you get some backstory on stuff that has shown up in other books as well, but
yes,
only lightly. You get a little more front and center of that stuff here, which is cool.
Yep. What else did I like? The bad guy is a complete trope, but done in like just the perfect way. Like
Yeah,
he's the career military man who has aspirations of um launching himself famously into politics, and you know how that storyline always plays out.
combination
Right.
that never fails, right?
Yeah.
um, and it's done well enough that even when he gets his eventual comeuppance, it's still entertaining.
Yeah, and it's interesting to hear like where that guy is from and where the people that he represents are from and what's going on with them, right? And we kind of haven't seen them in quite a while, so it'll be interesting to hear when he or if he ever goes back to that place, like, oh hey, what's going on over there that turned this kind of guy out.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was really good. And like I said, the implications of what it sets up at the end are super interesting because you have this this crew that they've built. You have these, the implications of where the story ends and like what that means for that place and other places is super cool. And so I'm
Yeah.
into it, man.
Very, very
Yeah,
cool.
and he gave them a solid direction at the end. So if and when he decides to come back to this, there's a spot that he can definitely pick it up and move for the next story.
Well, JJ, that means that you need to tell us if you've found a solid direction to go in that game with too big a map.
Uh, yeah, I guess I'm still playing Silksong. Um, I I I saw credits, um, but credits the first time, I guess.
Oh, I see.
It
It's one of those.
the game it is the end of the game. It is
It could
an end to the game.
it could be an end if you wanted it to be, or will you be like, I don't know, but I gotta keep trying.
There's definitely more to the game. So, it depends on if you want to decide that like, are you done with the game? You can always just turn the game off, right?
Sure.
But if you want to see the thing the whole way through to the eventual completion of the story, there's more to do.
Oh boy.
And so I embarked upon that journey.
All right.
Yeah, I think I have a completion percentage now, which I didn't used to. All right, how about this for a Metroidvania power up? A thing that lets you see your completion percentage.
That would be
Oh,
nice.
very nice. As you're playing through.
Do we not
Yeah,
have that?
correct. You didn't know before then.
Ah.
After you get this thing, now it shows like empty slots in your menus and a number on a screen that shows you how complete you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe as of tonight, I am 89%.
And 89 is
Oh
pretty
wow,
dang good.
that's pretty high.
Famously, Hollow Knight went to 112.
Was there a reason for it being 12?
I do not know.
Very funny.
So, who knows? There's still there's several like big important things I haven't done. There's like a lot of bosses I know that are still out there. But I think I have like most of the tools at this point. I have like a pretty strong upgraded weapon. I have I've upgraded my health and my silk quite a bit. Crests are cool. I got the achievement for getting all the crests, so that means something, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm enjoying the game, but I kind of need to get on with the big bosses. But I'm scared because they're hard.
I'm scared.
Yeah, so I've definitely beaten several very difficult boss fights. To get here, a lot of difficult platforming, which has been really fun. The game's great, man. People should play this game. It's so good.
Can you give an equal review to the newest Final Fantasy iteration of a classic?
I have been also dipping my toes into Final Fantasy Tactics: The Evilise Chronicles.
Very nice.
Hey, did you like that game?
Yeah, I mean, I think I did. It was the phone one, right? Evilise was the phone one.
No.
Which one was the phone version?
This is the PlayStation 1 RPG from 1998.
Yeah. But didn't they rename? Didn't they do the PlayStation 1 RPG from 1998 as a phone version at one point?
They released a version of it on phones at some point.
Yeah,
there was a version on PSP and this, and then
base most of them on after that. Isn't that Evilise?
I mean, Evilise is the name of the world, so I don't think.
Oh.
I think the name on the phone was War of the Lions, which was the PSP version of the game.
Oh, yeah, it might have been. No, War of the Lions was definitely the one on the. All right, I'm getting them all mixed up.
The phone one was just a port. There was nothing special about it, is my belief.
Okay. I think that's right.
This is not the War of the Lions.
All right.
There are 2 games in this game. When you boot it up, it comes to a menu screen, and there are 2. There's the enhanced version and the original. You can pick.
Okay. That's nice when they do that.
The original is the original game, PS1. It has the War of the Lions script, so like the text there. There's not the original English translation from PS1, which famously was terrible.
Yeah, but that's classic, right? Well, I guess not for new players, which is who they're caring about at this point, probably.
Yeah, it's a bad translation. It's out there if you want to go find it on the internet, but that is not in this game. So if you want that script, go elsewhere. It's not here. But that's the original gameplay, not the War of the Lions enhanced gameplay, to be clear. There's a few minor, like, quality of life things, like really minor.
And then you start getting into, you accidentally said advance, and then there's advanced tactics and tactics A2, which are both advanced.
Different things.
Not yeah, I know. Yeah. But I think all those are in Evilise.
No, I've been saying enhanced.
Oh, I thought you said advanced. Oh,
no, because that's a different thing. So then there's the enhanced version, which is what this game is mostly trading on, which is the Evilise Chronicles version. You start that up, and that has the voice acting. It has a bunch of quality of life features. It has a pretty different rebalance in a lot of the fights. The script is changed, so it's not the War of the Lions script. The script now matches the voice acting, which duh, right?
Very nice, yeah.
And it's pretty good, man. Like, I'm not very far in, but I've played this game like 400 times. I already know what's going to happen. But hearing the people talk about it gives it a lot more weight, and they did tweak the script a little bit, again, because of the voice acting. So unfortunately, you lose some of the real bangers from those original scripts.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
There's a famous line that happens in pretty early in the game, like very early, where something doesn't go someone's way, and they're like, are you gonna let them get away with this? He's like, blame yourself or God. He leaves.
Yes,
that's a great line. In the remaster now, he says, blame yourself or the Father, which is how they refer to God.
Don't like that as much.
They've been praying to Father and stuff the entire, opening scenes. So, it's not as good, but the voice acting is very good in general. And I'm really enjoying that. And the rebalanced fights make it easier to not have to grind a ton, which is nice.
Oh, okay.
Famously, this game had some really big difficulty spikes early on in the game.
I remember that. You had to just wander around leveling for a while.
Yes. They also added some really nice features of hey, do you not want to do a random battle right now? You can just not. You just say no and then don't do it.
That's nice. I like quality of life features that have respect for the fact that not everyone has the same amount of time to invest.
And they also have the inverse of that feature is you just click on the place and then click like go, and it's like random battle. And you're
Yes,
like, yes.
please.
And then you can fight one, you know? You still do need to do some of those just to get the, you know, the levels and experience and stuff, but you really don't need to level up hard the way you did in the original game.
That's the game that taught me about over leveling.
The
how I said the original Tactics is the game that taught me about over leveling and how the games are actually fun if you make them easy for yourself.
Absolutely.
Sure, yeah.
The fun thing is the systems are all still there and still super broken. So if you want to, you can.
Okay.
They did not stop you. And in fact, like all the power leveling tricks and stuff that people have are all still there, preserved in the same ways. If you want to go do them, they're there. Go search. You know, if you want level 99 characters in the second battle or whatever, it's possible.
Sure.
I don't know why you would hate yourself like that, but you can.
Yeah, why not?
So I'm really liking it, man. It's really great. It's the story gains a more like another dimension of like gravitas when you hear like, you know, when seeing some people talk about plotting behind the scenes is one thing, but it's another thing when you hear their tone of voice and like, you know, you hear the guy like, you know, slyly comment, oh, well, something should happen to the king, you know, that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
now you know somebody's planning something.
Right. It just makes the whole thing work so much better when you can hear the like, you know, oh, we wouldn't want anything to happen to him, you know, kind of drip off. And dude, there's a character early on in that game who was always a little jerk. Oh my God, every time he opens his mouth, I want to punch him so hard.
They're doing a good job.
The voice actor is killing it. I hate him so much. I want him to die.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure I'll get my chance in a few battles.
Yeah. I mean, you could just let him out to pasture, right? Permadeath in that game.
Not for, you know, named characters, right? Usually.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot there was a double standard.
Yeah.
Plot armor.
Yep. But like all the ways the systems are broken are all still here. If you want to, you know, use your characters to level each other up by fighting each other, you can. You know, you want to abuse all the stats and all the systems that are in there. It's all there. And they've made stuff easier in some ways, which is super nice. When you want to buy new people for your party, you can just select from like a big pre-rolled list of people instead of just like selecting one, looking at their stats, saying no, going back out, going back in, right? All that kind of stuff. So they help you out a little bit in that department. They also have made like buying and selling a little faster. They've rebalanced the economy to some degree, so it's not as like stupid as it was sometimes. They've rebalanced some of the skills and moved a few things around. Like stuff costs more. Like some of the insanely broken stuff that you could get for very cheap is now more expensive. But it's a light touch, I would say, you know, as opposed to just like ripping it all out. So it's been really cool. I'm going to continue on.
The lightest of touches is what I saw today, Michael, in weird side gaming news. Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah. No idea where this came from. I don't know if anyone that I have seen has any idea what they meant by this other than to just drop it on people and not say a word. But yeah, Nintendo, JJ, I don't know if you saw this. They dropped a 4-minute animated short today.
Just remember those old Pixar shorts that they used to do before the movies?
I did not see this.
Well,
yeah, it's exactly like one of those.
Yep. Cool. Fascinating. Why is there a baby? What are we doing? Is this a message? Are they just touting their animation studio for the next Mario movie? Why would that involve a baby? I'm very confused.
Yeah, lots of questions, no answers.
Is Baby Mario going to make that horrible screeching noise from the SNES game?
No, at least
It's not Baby Mario in the video. It's just baby.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Are we implying Mario had sex?
Oh shoot!
Nope.
Again, it's very random. There does not appear to be any rhyme or reason to how this came about, as far as I
I'm
can
trying
tell.
to get you
And
clicks, Andy. Come on.
Mario had sex. I'm
Don't
just
do it.
literally.
Don't do it for the
Should that
gram,
be the
JJ.
title?
Rule number
Rule
one.
number one: don't do it for the gram.
Fair point.
Is the episode title "Mario had segs with 2 G's" so that it doesn't get banned?
Oh yeah, we don't want to get demonetized.
Demonetized. Yeah. Oof. All right. Google got demonetized today. Like that one?
Sure,
That was a good transition. Michael, the Google Play Store is now the same as the Apple thing. Aren't you happy to know that you can send your credit card through unsecured websites now?
So happy to let other people blaze that trail ahead of me.
It was only fair, I guess,
Yeah,
considering.
hold on, man. Like the way you phrase that, it's like, oh, haha, now you can let everyone steal your credit card. Or you can let like legitimate banks make money instead of only Google, right?
I'm not necessarily against this ruling. I just think it's funny. It's like, okay, whatever.
I mean, Apple operated this way for a long time until they were also sued, right? So
yeah, but they're sued by someone who's undeniably dislikable.
Oh yeah, like
it's not a victory for the consumer; it's a victory for corporations against other corporations.
This is the no matter who wins, we lose of court cases.
100%, and I think we actually lose more than we lose, which is weird to say. Monopolies aren't great, but we can talk about walled gardens for a second.
Yeah.
We've been talking about managing our households and managing computer access and all these sorts of things, and the kids, and frankly, starting to manage upwards as well, the adults, right? The ones that are aging into mistakes with computers and things like that. And one of the weird ideas of this is like, unless you're going to be really on top of it, a lot of people that don't know how this stuff works are going to end up scammed, I think.
Maybe
I could be overreacting. Like, I'm not sure, but
no one is forcing you to interact with it, though, right? You can still pay through Google, and I'm sure Google will want you to always offer them as an option.
Yeah, so that was part of the ruling, and that's the part that I don't get. Because I think that would be enough of a stopgap that I would just concede back to, like, yeah, whatever. This is just companies that don't care about me fighting with each other. But part of the ruling was that they're not allowed to pop up a message that says, by the way, you're leaving the Google store to go pay for this thing, in case you wanted to know. Which I think is crazy, because in Windows, I can set up alerts, and I have now started to set up alerts that says, don't install this. Or like, no, you can't go to places that do things that involve putting your credit card in, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, this was the reason that user account control came in Windows, what was that, 7? Whenever it was, where you could just like designate people when they log on and then say like, actually, you can't install things. Sorry. Like,
yeah.
Go
ask. This isn't, yeah. It's not the same, right? Like, this is not the same. Installing viruses and things like that are not the same as like sending you out to make a payment at a different website. Hopefully, it's less scammy than that. But telling Google they can't even put up a message that says you're leaving Google to go pay for this thing. Strange. Strange in terms of consumer protection, anyway. Like that exists.
Yeah, it's not a consumer protection is the point, right? But,
right.
I think people need to be taught that apps don't like all exist within the garden. As soon as you open the app, all your data is being sent somewhere. It's not to Apple.
Well, hold on. I mean, so I don't know if Google does this because I don't have an Android device, but Apple will tell you when installing the app, like, by the way, this is the information they collect from you, and this is who it's sent to.
Yeah, Google has versions of that, right? Well, they'll tell you that once it's installed. But does are your kids looking?
No, they're not. No, they're not. And teaching people stuff is great, but they don't always remember it.
Yeah,
or choose to ignore it.
It's just the case, Like I said, we've said it before. None of these companies are your friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And especially in the world that we're living in, like, we got to look out for each other, man. These corporations ain't saving us.
Yeah. Well, Epic wins another big one that their CEO can gloat about. I don't know what he won, but he won something. I guess his own fees or something.
Is he the most insufferable person in tech? No, but he's got to be close, though, right?
No, can't possibly be near the top.
No.
Like, there's so many AI companies that you probably could get to before you even start in on.
Oh, no, they're like objectively bad. I just mean like annoying.
Oh, annoying? Oh.
Like, he's always online. He's always talking about stuff. He just won't shut the hell up. Like, dude, just go do whatever you're doing and stop posting, man.
Maybe at the top of a list of ones you're tired of making sound bites every.
I have a feeling we have to tolerate him because he's relatively harmless in the scheme of things, and like, if you push him too far, he turns into another one of the ones that goes from just talking too much into like spending money on things and hating people. So,
I mean, he's already monopolized the video game engine space. So, that's being actively enshittified, I think. So I wouldn't, say he's not harmful yet.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, you're not wrong though. Let's not turn him into another one of the bad tech oligarchs.
I was just saying, I think the final roundabout on that is walled gardens sometimes may be okay. I wish it was more clear how to get around some of these rulings that prevent me from being able to control things that are not in my control, right? Like, I can't always be there to supervise someone using something that I know the rules. It's easy for me to teach someone the rules, but I can't always make them follow them.
The answer to some of those things are parental controls, right? And
yeah, but even that
they're not
now
good or perfect.
Even some of that now is, could be considered illegal by this ruling. Could be. I don't know how far that would go if they just said
the ruling doesn't demolish walled gardens. The ruling demolishes Google's monopoly control over the Play Store, which isn't like the same thing, right?
No. It's not necessarily. I agree. It's not necessarily, but it does chip away at the protections that I can use in my very specific need. Again,
for Android devices, it doesn't really affect Apple devices, so I don't know why you're worried.
Well, the same ruling came from the Apple. The same ruling came for Apple.
Yeah, I think you're conflating things though, right? Like, you're talking about user limitations versus like the ability for the company to make money, and that's different.
User limitations can only go so far, right? And if it was easy to put a parental control on the Google Play Store, now someone can go around the Google Play Store and you don't have the same control.
I see what you're trying to say there, yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Which, to be clear, in Android land was always possible, right? Like, side loading
it is
was
always
a
possible
thing over there.
Yes, it's true. And you could always load a different store, right? I'm not saying it wasn't impossible, but we're creating more avenues of possibilities.
Yeah.
It's just that's
So-
my specific notation. That's not everybody's issue, and for many people, including creators, this might be better.
Yeah, I think it's debatable there too, though, right? Like, is it actually better for them? I don't
No, you're just going to end up paying Epic instead of Google Play.
exactly. It's like
Yeah.
which
Again,
devil on your
we're
shoulder,
back-
right?
We're back to what, Michael?
Back to which one?
We're back to these corporations aren't your friend.
Oh yeah, never have been meme, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Jerry Jones is no one's friend this week, huh?
Was he ever?
I don't know. I'm sure he's a lot of billionaires' friends.
I was gonna say he's certainly his own best friend, right?
Mm-hmm. Certainly. It was a week of football. How did we all do?
I won, which is nice. I am one of 4 teams in my league that are 4-1. I, however, have the lowest points scored of those 4.
I feel that.
So squarely in 4th place.
Yeah, squarely.
I feel that.
I won in both of my leagues, so I'm in 3rd place in one. 2nd place in one. I'm 4-1. I'm the only 4-1 team, and there's one undefeated. And the other one, I'm slowly moving out of the cellar, so I've jumped up from 9th to 8th. Again, due to fewest points for.
Nice. Both my games were pretty easily in hand from the beginning. My regular season, not non-guillotine, however, walked away this weekend with Bucky Irving injured, Saquon Barkley injured, my kicker put on IR, and my tight put on IR.
It's a lot to recover from.
Pretty
That's
deep
a lot.
recovery. Yeah. Saquon looks like he'll be okay.
He did practice today.
Did practice, so that's okay. Bucky looks like he's not coming back this week. And that's 2 IRs to replace, including a tight end, which is like not great. The guillotine, though, we're down to 8 teams.
Okay.
Our advice on this show has worked pretty much. We did acquire. Who did we acquire last week? We acquired Garrett Wilson last week for a couple $100, like 120 something bucks.
I'll tell you, man. You know who I'm looking at this week? I'm looking at that tight end on the Jets. What's his name?
I don't know.
Hold on.
The tight end on the Jets' his name. I mean,
I'm gonna find out.
The Jet. So Garrett Wilson's on the Jets. So I don't know how invested in the Jets I want to get.
M. Taylor.
Mason Taylor?
Yeah.
In one league, in the guillotine, I've got Tyler Warren. So I'm sitting pretty there.
Oh yeah, Tyler Warren is solid. I have not a great tight end, so I'm looking for upgrades. And
oh yeah, Taylor's done pretty well those last couple of weeks. Looking at his lines.
Ertz has had a terrible week.
That almost lost me this week in one of my league.
That Jets tight end I saw was like on the field for like 90% of snaps. So
what?
Like, dude, yeah, it's a huge number, like some crazy number. He was out there like all game.
Wow.
It's like that's what you want, you know?
Yeah. So our last week, if I go back, we did pretty well on bringing people in. Zay Flowers did all right, but we got a struggle in the RB situation with Ken Walker and Alvin Kamara kind of really not doing their jobs so great for us.
Yeah.
We could have put in Dobbins, I guess, and avoided one of those two. So I don't know if it's time to make a move on a running back here, or we stick it out. We're currently projected somewhere in the middle.
Who got cut?
Let's see.
Yeah, the big
cutters.
question.
Here we go. Are we ready? Josh Allen's now on the wire. I have Baker, so I don't know that I need to make a huge investment
Allen's
there.
a big upgrade, though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we want to make a play. Devontae Adams is now on the wire.
He's been good.
I don't. James Cook is now on the wire.
He's also been good.
There's a running back upgrade for you.
Oh, he had a 4-point week this week against New England, and he's up against Atlanta, who's better, and then has a bye. So that's concerning.
Maybe wait a couple weeks.
Tony Pollard on the Titans hit the wire.
Yeah. You don't love it.
Mark Andrews from Baltimore. Jacoby Myers. I'm not in love with any of this. Juwan Jennings.
Maybe he's been injured. I think he might play this coming week, but
maybe.
Yeah, but Purdy is still out.
Big question mark there. Yeah.
I'm just looking through the rest of these players. I don't think any of them are Dondre Swift from the Bears.
He
on the wire.
Plays a lot, I think. I don't know what his scores have been like, though.
His scores have been okay. He's
13,
only been
10, 16.
Yeah, he's only been
He's
under 10 points once so far this season.
He's probably an upgrade over Walker.
Might be. Yeah. And Pat Mahomes. This team had Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen and got cut.
Well,
that's starting the wrong one because you didn't pick a guy and go with him, right?
Mahomes went off this week, right? So he must have started Allen.
He started Allen, but that only gives him 4 points. He missed by like a lot. He was 30 points down on everyone else. I don't even know how. I think James Cook was a big part of it because James Cook only got 4 points.
Yeah, Cook and Allen have had like a bunch of games where they've both scored high, but I think they had a low week this week, right? And that's bad.
Yeah, you don't want to overinvest, man.
Well, sometimes, though, Andy, here's what I'll tell you. By the end of the guillotine, you do want to overinvest because you are done playing for the floor, right? You need to be playing for the ceilings.
Yeah.
True. You know, getting a quarterback and a running back or a wide receiver on the same team allows you to like double stack all your points, right? So by the, when it's down to like 3 teams, you really want to just be looking for the highest point totals, right? Rather than, combinations, right? At that point.
Swing for the fence at that point, right? We are in the bottom 3 on remaining money, however. So,
yeah, throw some cheapy bids out there on like Swift and Allen, maybe, because those guys will be better than whoever you got on your bench. And Allen might be an upgrade versus Baker some weeks and not others, Yeah,
well, I have Kyler Murray on the bench, so
you can kick him to the
replace
curb.
Kyler pretty easily.
That guy sucks.
But I don't know how much I could, if I spend some, I could win them amounts of money on Allen and Cook. We're done with our fab, basically, right?
I think you throw cheapy bids out there on Allen and Cook just because if you win, you'll be happy, but like you won't. But maybe throw a minor bid on Swift because he seems like a legit upgrade over some of the dudes you have. And,
he's an RB1, and he's.
Yeah, do we throw like 150 at Swift or something?
Yeah, and then
that feels right.
And then throw some money at the other guys, just on a prayer, and call it a day.
Yeah, because we're gonna have to save for getting the big names here, because all the other teams are gonna start having the big names coming down, right?
Right. So that's the other thing is like who's left and how much money do the people that are left have?
We've got from bottom to top 250, 380. I'm sitting at 570. Then we got 660, 700, 700, 1,000.
Wow, 2 people spending no
haven't
money.
Spent any money?
No, yeah.
So I think you really want to try and minimize your spend at this point for a week or 2 if you can.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, put a small bid on Swift just to keep your, upgrading your roster. Because what you don't want is to get in to like the last three, and everyone has like $800 and you have 300. You know.
Yeah, because you can't win any players at that point.
Right. Or you're gonna have to hope that the guys that they let you have
Go
go
off.
big. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We did also pick up, I forgot to mention, we grabbed a $20 bid last week on Mike Evans. We got him onto the roster.
Well, he's going to be sitting for a while because he's injured, right? So
he's in the IR spot.
Okay. The other thing that you can do is make use of the fact that I assume you still have waivers that don't cost money in this league.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's time to take a look at your bench and all the people that suck on there and kick them to the curb for free replacements with the waivers.
True. I don't know who's
think
really out there right now that's not going to get nabbed up currently.
Well, after people are going to drop people as part of this, right? They might drop a guy who's a little bit better than a bench guy, right? Yeah, that kind of stuff. You don't need to like go straight to like RB1s, wide receiver ones, and all these. But, also be thinking about your bye weeks, right? Because that'll be the thing. This week's pretty light. I think there's only a couple teams on bye, but they're going to be big weeks starting to hit with like big teams on buys. Like the week the guy who's rolling off like Gibbs and Taylor get a bye, you want that guy to have that guy gets cut, right?
Yeah.
The week those guys are on bye.
And you want him to have no recourse, right? His players are on bye and he can't replace that production.
Right. And then you want to swoop in and grab those RB1s.
Yeah. Let's see the guy who's currently in danger, what he's got going on. Yeah, it's another team of like, I don't really know how he's still around, He's got
the right guys get touchdowns and you stay in the league.
Yeah. So I think I'm not too worried about falling to the bottom if I don't spend this week. If the guy on the bottom really throws all his money and wins all of it, but he's got like $700. I don't know that he could pull his way out of it.
But like that's also that if he spends all his money and doesn't get cut, that's actually a win for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because next week he will get nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The two people also projected below us is both have $1,000 too. They can't both win all the players.
Exactly.
So I think we're sitting okay in terms of not spending this week too much. But I think you're right. Yeah. Gonna have to try and grab Swift. I think that's our target this week.
Yeah, and I don't think you need to overspend. Like, throw 100, 150, something like that. Like, if you get them, great. If you don't get them, no big.
Yeah. We could definitely drop Hollywood Brown for Romeo Dobbs, though.
Probably.
Make that change.
He's sitting out there on the wire and wasn't even dropped from a team.
Who's your tight end?
Warren, and I also have Fannin and Ertz sitting on the roster.
Yeah, you could probably drop one of those guys for the guy from from the Jets. Dude, that dude is playing so much. He has to be doing good.
Let's
Better
see.
than Fannin, at least.
Well, Fannin did all right this week. They finally put him back in the game. We got where's the guy? I don't see Jake. No, that's not him.
It's Miller or Mason. Something Mason.
Jake Tongus is a guy that's got a lot of points from San Francisco. You got to go a ways down here. I do not see a dude on the Jet. Mason Taylor.
That's him.
Yep.
Okay. Two games in a row, he's had some high point totals.
He's out there on all the snaps, dude.
12 targets.
See?
What in the world?
The Jets are bad, and they play catch-up scripts, and this dude is Fields' check down.
Oh. I love check down players. That's how you win in PPR leagues with running backs who get check down passes.
Exactly. This dude is good.
Austin Eckler won me championships.
R.I.P. on the IR.
I know. I'm just saying he was the check down king for a long time.
Oh yeah, yeah, he's good. So yeah, I think like you said, put. By the way, that no one is picking up that Jets guy. Don't spend money.
Okay.
But
Well, I'll put $1 on it.
No, get him for free. Like the waivers will clear. No one's going to bid on him, and you can go grab him for free.
I don't know. Is he no one's put him on their must pickups for the week 6? Because a lot of people read those.
I'm sure people did. Yeah, okay, fine, throw $1, but it's not worth spending real money on him.
Sure. But $1 might not matter in the long run, right?
Yeah, I mean, think about this. Would you rather keep the dollar, or is $1 worth a slot on your bench? Because you're not playing him.
Right.
Not over Warren, right?
No, Warren sits there until his bye week. I'm just looking for a bye week player at this point.
Yeah, so you definitely don't need to roster 3 tight ends either, right?
No, I think I could drop both the tight ends I have and grab this guy if he's going to be good. Right? Because at this point, you've got 8 teams left. Here's the top 8 tight ends: Jake Ferguson, Dalton Kincaid, Tyler Warren, Trey McBride, Hunter Henry, Travis Kelce, Sam Laporta, and this San Francisco guy. Right? Like, why would you?
Yeah, why would you roster anyone else?
Why would you roster anyone else? So I think it's time to start dropping tight ends at this point.
Yep. You can try and drop one for Swift and this other guy, for a backup. But I think your roster is progressing. I think also, look, it's time for Ken Walker to walk to the bench.
He's gotten me this far. He's played every game on this roster. I just have to say 18, 18, 12, 9.
Do you notice a trend in those numbers?
Go in the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tampa Bay's good against the run, but Jacksonville's going to blow up Seattle this week.
Do you notice a trend in the numbers of Zach Charbonnet on the Seahawks?
Is he starting to pick it up?
The trend's going the other direction.
Kirkland's finest Charbonnet.
And that's a bad sign for good old Ken Walker.
Oh, well, Ken, I don't mind if Ken rides the pine if we could get somebody in.
I mean, I would play Dobbins over him at this point.
I've got Dobbins. I'm willing to put Dobbins in. Kamara is the one that really seems to be getting replaced for by somebody else. What's the other guy's name? Anyway, I don't know. It's Spencer something, maybe.
Oh, on the Saints, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. He seems to be getting replaced by Miller, maybe.
The Saints are a mess, dude. I don't want any part of that team, to be frank.
I don't either, but I had to get this far. Anyway, if people want to tell us how I can get further,
you should send that to podcast@weweregamers.com.
Also YouTube, youtube.com/@weweregamers to go see the episode 470 Mario Had Sex.
Please.
We got to come up with a different name for it pretty quick here.
Don't cancel us.
Don't demonetize our demonetized channel.